Oh, goodness gracious. God damn. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Could you guys do me a favor? Big, huge favor. I need you guys to tap the fuck out. See those hearts by tapping the screen? I need to blow this live up. I need to just fucking blow it up, please. Copy. No, I don't need to copy. God damn it. Download. Come on, download. Okay, there we go. Okay, sorry, I'll be right with you guys. I'm just trying to get this thumbnail on here. Thank you guys for tapping those likes, man. Seriously. I have the hiccups. I've been down to the bottom of every bottle. Good morning, Ron. Good morning, Scott. I'm almost done. I'll be right with you guys, and then we'll commence the talkifying. Okay. Sorry, I'm just doing a quick check. NBA player that scored 83 points? I did not. No shit. Bam Adebayo erupts for 83 points in Heat's win over Wizards. Passes Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant doesn't have the most number of points in a game. Wilt Chamberlain does at 100. Okay, well, good for him, but he doesn't hold the record. Were you just singing Nickelback? No Judgment. Just felt like it was 2005 again. I saw that. I saw a video that had that song in it. I'll bend down to the bottom of every bottle. And this morning, and it's just stuck in my fucking head now. I watch your videos and I'm from Sweden. I like you. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Eric, hello. Good morning from the DMV. Getting a new license, getting license plates. What are we doing at the DMV this morning? Why are we putting ourselves through hell this morning at the DMV? You're getting hammered in the stock market? Yeah. Everybody's getting hammered in the stock market these days. Where are we at? Oh, look at that. We're down 458 this morning already. We're down to 47,248. We could get down below 47,000 today. But the Dow is 50,000. It's that type of song, LOL. It's probably in my head for the day, right? DC, Maryland, Virginia. Hello. Hope you and yours are having a good morning. We're having an okay morning. Oh, DMV is DC, Maryland, Virginia. My apologies. DMV in Illinois is the Department of Motor Vehicles. When somebody says they're going to the DMV in Illinois, that means they're going to get their driver's license renewed or get their license plate sticker or something like that. Are you a gamer? Can you play Resident Evil 9? I am not a gamer. I don't play any video games in any way, shape, or form on any platform. How am I doing today? Okay. The SAVE Act is coming, and there's nothing y'all can do about it. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if the senators in the Republican senators are willing to blow up the filibuster to get it passed. Because I'll tell you something, I'm betting they won't. Because they don't want to hand the Senate back over to a democratically controlled, hand back over to Democrats to be controlled with no filibuster. But we'll see. We'll see. Did you ever play video games? Atari in the 80s when I was younger. And then when Renee and I first moved in together in Franklin Park, which was 26, 27 years ago, I had PlayStation 1, I think. And I had a football game on it that I played, and that was about the extent of it. Is that a pre-roll? No, that's one of my rolls. What do I think about Christine Nome being fired? I think it's phenomenal. Who do I think is going to replace her? The guy who they tapped to replace her, Senator Mark Wayne Mullen out of Oklahoma. Pinball is a great game to play. I just joined, so sorry if you were asked already. Do you think U.S. troops eventually go into Iran, or do you think it fizzles out and the U.S. is able to backpedal? Those aren't rolling skills, by the way. Hang on a second. I'll touch on that subject in just a second. I use cones, raw cones. And if you just do it properly in lifts, then you get that every damn time. Raw cones. That's the key. I used to be able to roll like this. Used to use tops and zigzags back in the day, back in the 80s. But with the onset of cones, you don't have to do that anymore. You should have splurged. Cones are the fucking best, man. They really are. As far as troops in Iran, it depends. I think that we're heading down a path of sending troops into Iran. If he feels like he needs to back off or he's going to lose support, he might back off. But no, I think that we're going into. I think we're going into Iran. I think we're going into Cuba, and probably Colombia. You weird. Why am I weird? You can't really find cones in England, only if you go to certain shops. Can you order them off of Amazon and have them shipped to you? That's how I used to have mine shipped to me. Yes, Erica Kirk was quietly given a position. What you got in the drawer today? What do you mean in the drawer? If you don't mind me asking what that means. Hello, good sir. How you doing today? I'm doing good, thank you. Sorry, that's the way I read it in my head. Hi from Athens, Greece. Hello from not Athens, Greece. The sticky icky drawer. I have my rolling tray. my rolling tray, and I keep a little bit of sticky icky on it and a little brush and a bunch of cones so that when I'm ready to roll, I can do so. Oh, I would be fine with any number of people in the Illinois Senate race. Who I think is going to win it is going to be Raj. It is nice. This particular rolling tray, you see how it's deep and it has the magnetic lid to it? This was sent to me from Raw Cones, from the owner of Raw Cones. I did a video talking about Raw Cones on TikTok years ago, 4 years ago, whatever. And he sent me a message and said, "Hey, we'd love to use your video in an ad. Do I have your permission?" Yeah, go ahead. And he sent me a care package of that rolling tray, bunch of cones, lanyard, all kinds of different, all ashtrays and stuffers, and you name it. And then when we couldn't get raw cones delivered to Illinois because there was some kind of legal battle going on, he sent me a case of raw cones. He's like, "Here, let me know when you run out." And I that lasted me 2.5, 3 years. And then I sent him a message and said, "Hey, I'm running out. You told me to message you." And he sent me 3 cases of 1,400 cones apiece the last time around. So, and we've got each other's cell numbers. And he's like, "Love your content." And I was like, "Cool." So I'm not friends with the owner of Raw Cones by any stretch of the imagination, but he is a damn cool guy and likes to take care of the people that support him, and yeah. So the last care package you sent me was 3 of these. There's 1,400 king size raw cones in there. He sent me 3 of these. Fucking insane. So, I've got cones for days. Anyway, if you guys could tap the fuck out of the screen, that would be greatly appreciated. We're in a little bit of an algorithm lull here on YouTube. It happens. Not everybody gets to be on the For You page at the same time. Your views go up, your views go down, your views go up, your views go down. And the way that we can help the algorithm lull is by interacting with this video, with this live, tapping the fuck out of the screen, blowing it up, sending it into the For You page, and seeing more people interact. It'll help jog me out of the algorithm slump. I appreciate it. Tom Powell Jr., your governor. Tom Powell Jr. for governor and give a middle finger to Donald Trump. That's not happening. Just had an odd question. Given I'm not an American nor do I live in the USA, what if a MAGA tells me to love it or leave it? Truly, I can't find an answer that can make him understand that. You're not going to find an answer that's going to make him understand anything. He's a MAGA supporter. That's why they are what they are. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter. I enjoy your discussions of politics and culture. Thank you for sharing your perspective. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Love your post. Thank you very much. Guys, just, you don't have to, it doesn't need to be a love fest. I appreciate all that. Let's figure out a topic to talk about or topics to talk about. I interact with you guys on these lives. No guests, no topic, just me reading the comments. So how the hell are you this morning? I'm doing pretty good, especially now. Thank you for the gifts. I do make all of my money off of social media now, and every dime helps. So appreciate any gift. Favorite internet unk? Well, thank you very much. What do you think about Jasmine Crockett losing? I think it's probably the best thing for the Democrats in the state of Texas right now. Any good broken bone story? I've never broken a bone in my life, knock on wood. 54 years old this May. I am currently 53. I will be 54 on May 13th. Everybody put that in your calendars right now. May 13th, Tom Powell Jr.'s birthday. And I've never broken a bone, not once. How do you read and respond to MAGA comments when they can't even speak English or type it? Simple. I love doing it. I'm an extreme extrovert, so I'll talk to anybody about anything, and I get paid. You're 2 years older than me? Well, right on. Hiya from a purple dot in Florida. Florida, actually, at one point in time, was blue. Barack Obama won Florida twice. But yeah, it is solidly red now. Crockett replacement guy received donations from MAGA donors. Not sure it will be better. You're talking about James Tallarico. Is that that's what you're talking about? James Tallarico. Here's the deal. Would you rather have James Tallarico in the Senate from Texas or John Cornyn? It's bottom. Do you think James Tallarico would be a better senator, or do you think John Cornyn would be a better senator? And if the answer is James Tallarico, then that's the answer. He's the guy you need to vote for if you're in Texas. And the bottom line to me is, at this point in time, electability. Not that my candidate agrees with me on everything. Do we have enough votes to take back the Senate, to take back the House? Electability. And my fear was that because it was Texas, they were never going to vote for a black woman. They've had a woman Democratic president in the past, or governor in the past, but in these times, electability is what matters. No vote for AIPAC? Okay, so then you're just going to let the fascists continue to win because there might be a Democratic candidate out there that took money from AIPAC. Listen, I'm not happy about Democratic candidates taking money from AIPAC either. However, I would rather have a Democratic candidate that takes money from AIPAC in office than have a Republican president that doesn't give a shit, or a Republican senator that doesn't give a shit about anybody here or there. So, yeah, that's what it's got to come down to. You can't look at a Democratic candidate and go, oh, he takes money from AIPAC, so I'm never going to vote for him, and thus allow the Republicans to have another vote in the Senate. You know what the Senate does? They confirm lifetime judges. You want Donald Trump to be able to continue to get his lifetime judicial appointments confirmed in the last 2 years of his presidency? Or do you want the Democrats to stop that? If you want the Democrats to stop that, then you got to vote for the Democratic candidate, even if they take money from an organization that you don't like, even if they hold a position you don't care for. It is still light years better than the Republican option. Am I a Bogart? Given the fact that I'm here alone, yes, I get to Bogart all by myself. The game is chess, not checkers. Bing fucking go. Right there. Isn't that the corporate lobbyist thing that the U.S. is infamous for? Redfoot, go back in 10th? What? Did I miss a comment? Redfoot, you're a sucker for slogans. We see that. It says the Georgia. Okay. We have some beefing going on among people in the comment section. Wonders comes in and says, hi. Working on it. I'm working on it. How do you feel about Dem complicity in the fascist regime? Dem corporation with corporate oligarchs. I think it's a crock of shit that the Dems are complicit in allowing fascism to run wild in this country. I get it. There are a lot of progressives in the United States of America right now that don't like old school Democrats, and that's fine. You don't have to like old school Democrats. But if you think that even old school Democrats are remotely close to what we're seeing out of the Republican Party right now in the MAGA movement, you have not been paying attention to this country for the last 40 fucking years. What do I think about oil depletion? I don't know what to think about oil depletion. I think people need to talk to Mr. Global about oil depletion. Here's what I know. In my area, diesel's over $5 a gallon. Gas is creeping up every fucking day. It's going to cause everything to be more expensive. It's going to cause everybody to have to pay more to get to where they need to be, to pay more for the stuff they want to buy, and it's going to cause our economy to continue to contrast. I hope when all of this is over, we get a cooler flag for the country. What's wrong with our flag? What do I think about the Save America Act? I think it's dog shit. GQP is fucked up for sure, no longer sold on blue, no matter who, though. Rather, not vote at all. And if you don't vote at all, then you help elect MAGA. You help elect fascists. If you would normally vote for the liberal, democratic, or left leaning candidate, but there's something about them that you don't like, so you're not going to vote, you are helping Republicans get elected. If you protest vote, if you don't vote at all, you write somebody in, you just ignore the top of the ticket, whatever the case may be, you are helping Republicans get elected. And it's not Republicans from the 1970s, it's MAGA Republicans from 2026. If you don't vote at all, you are helping, you are complicit in what's going on in this country. Thank you, Wood, for the $20 donation. Keep doing what you're doing. As long as I got life in my body, I shall. This is the easiest job I've ever fucking had by a mile, and I intend on doing it for years to come. Yes, I'm aware of the usual arguments. I'm talking about mass refusal to vote. But I'm sorry, but mass refusal to vote is what gave us Trump again. Millions of people stayed home in 2024. As a result, Trump got elected. That's mass refusal to vote. All of those people who refused to vote for Kamala Harris because of her positions on the Middle East are complicit in Preddy's death, in Renee Good's death, in every single person that's ever been picked up under this administration on the streets and put into a detention center. They're responsible for the invasion of Venezuela. They're responsible for the bombing of Iran. They're responsible for all of that because they, in mass, decided that they were going to try and teach the Democrats a lesson by allowing Trump to get elected again. So they own all of that shit. Every boat blown up in the Caribbean, they own it all. And if you want to go back to 2016, we'll go back to 2016 and I'll pull up the fucking numbers for you again. They own it back then too, which means they own the lifetime conservative Supreme Court. They own the trade wars. They own the overturning of Roe v. Wade. All of it. That is not just on the feet of the people that walked into a voting booth with a red hat on and voted for. And I know that you can't wear political shit to the voting booth. You know what I'm saying. It's not just on the MAGA voters. It is on the Democratic or liberal or progressive voters that said, I can't do this. I'm out. I'm not going to vote for this person. They own every single woman that is going to die as a result of not having access to health care. You're not convinced Kamala would have been better than Trump? I'm glad that you're saying that you're going to vote, but I'm asking you seriously. Do you honestly think that we would be seeing the things in this country right now if Kamala Harris won the election? You think that we'd be seeing ICE agents in the streets of American cities just nabbing people and murdering people? Do you think that we'd see these trade wars? Do you think that the farmers would have lost their Asian market? Do you think that we would have hit Iran? Do you think any of these things that are happening, you really think that? You really think that we would see ICE in the streets and trade wars? I'm sorry, but that is fucking insane to think that we would see a mirror image of what's going on today if Kamala Harris had gotten elected. That's insane. The closest thing in Spain we have to Dems are the pragmatic faction of the PSOE. Whoa. Why am I getting... Wow, that was like 30 fucking notifications in one shot. Boom, 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 boom. All coming in from Truth Social. Okay. Yeah, to suggest that we would be seeing what's going on in this country right now if Kamala Harris was elected. That's just so incredibly off base and detached from reality. Beautiful guitar on the wall. Thank you very much. Okay, come here. Come here. Goodness gracious. Say hello. Say hello. Can you say hello to the people? This is the second oldest of our 5 cats. This is Franklin, otherwise known as Frank, otherwise known as Frankenheimer, otherwise known as the Frankenstein. Uh, he is my cat. We have 5 cats. This is the first one I brought into the house, and he is unquestionably mine. If you see a video of me here on YouTube from this office, which is most of them, there's a better than average chance that he's just chilling underneath my desk by my feet. He follows me around the house. He lays with me next to me in the bed. If I sit on the couch, he sits next to me there. If I go to the bathroom, he follows me there. He is named after the Grateful Dead song Franklin's Tower. And he has a string problem. If there's a string anywhere near him, he chews it, which is why people hide their shoes in closets all the time around here. He chews through your shoelaces in 30 seconds flat. He chews through the strings that hold the ornaments on the tree, which is why we have to have the metal clasps. I know, buddy. I know. I'm telling everybody your dirty laundry. I'm telling the whole world your dirty laundry, aren't I? Aren't I? Yes, yes. That's my boy, though, right? All right. You go get back in your spot now that you've got orange hair all over me. A string problem. He eats rubber bands, strings, the string that holds the little card on the side of a gift bag. If there's a string around him, he's got to chew through it. The netting on a bag of onions, he just chews right through it. Who are the other 4? Well, they're spread out all over the place. Our oldest cat is a black and white tuxedo, a long hair, named Freddie Mercury. Then there's the orange cat you just saw there, Franklin's Tower. Then we bring, we're going in order of age. Then we have our only female cat. She is a calico, predominantly white, but with black and brown spots on her. Her name is Pepper, or Sergeant Pepper. Then the next in line is our solid black cat named Ozzy Osbourne. And the last in line, our youngest cat, is our gray tabby named Eddie Van Halen. Does he shit you not? No, he doesn't. But he does. Like yesterday, he puked up another rubber band that he found somewhere and bit in half and swallowed. I keep telling everybody possible to pick up rubber bands, but hell, it could have been from my office. Is Frank the boss? No, all of the cats have their roles. So Freddie Mercury, the oldest, is kind of like the patriarch. He gets along with every cat. Frank is the groomer. He's the one that does most of the groomer, and he's one of the 2 hunters. Ozzy is the other hunter. Pepper is the neurotic one. She's always paranoid and hiding. Eddie's the fat one who's taken to Renee. My wife's cat. No, there is no Bon Jovi, but we are going to see. My wife is going to be seeing Bon Jovi in July in New York City. So I will be in New York City. If there anybody in Manhattan in the room, I will be in New York City in early July for a few days. Those are perfect names. Did you get Eddie around the time of the OG Eddie passing? I don't remember when I got him, a few years ago. Those are our cat names, and then we have a dog named Clyde, a yellow lab named Clyde Eugene Powell, and we had a black lab named Bonnie at one point in time. She died a couple of years ago, almost 2 or 3 years ago now. So we had Bonnie and Clyde, and then the 5 cats. And we have not replaced Bonnie because Clyde is such a phenomenal only dog that we're keeping it that way. And I don't know whenever he eventually passes, he's 11. I don't know if we'll get another dog at that point in time, given the fact that we are in our mid 50s already, or I'm in my mid 50s already. And we do like to travel a lot more. And I don't know that we want to go to the puppy stage again. Did you get hit by any? Well, thank you, BB. I appreciate that. Did you get hit by any of the storms? We just got a little bit of rain. None of the really weird shit. A tornado went through an hour south of us. No problem, ARA. Listen, I just want to make sure that you understand where I stand on this. I just don't believe for 1 second that Kamala Harris would have been anywhere near as bad as Donald Trump. I don't believe that we would have seen anything that we're seeing in the country today if Kamala Harris would have been elected. And if Hillary Clinton would have been elected to begin with, first and foremost, you probably don't even get a Biden administration. You don't even get a Kamala Harris attempt at the presidency at that point in time. But had Hillary Clinton been elected the first time around, we don't have these three insane Supreme Court justices. We don't have the overturning of Roe v. Wade. We don't have a stripping away of voting rights laws. We don't have what is going to probably happen, which is an attack on gay marriage in this country. Not as bad, but definitely not better. She would have been light years better. Would have been light years better. Infinitely better. A sentient cum sock would have been better than Donald Trump. In Kankakee County, LOL, it was insane. Looks like someone shot my neighbor's fence with a 50 cal. Yeah, I heard there was some significant damage in Kankakee overnight. Thank God for President Donald Trump. What part about it do you like, Wild? Give me a policy, Wild, that you like of Donald Trump. A specific policy that you like of Donald Trump's. Glad you got none. Yeah, we just solid rain. It rained hard for a little while. Yes, maggots would still be raging about everything. I mean, they won and they're still raging about everything. Happy Wednesday from Texas, right back at you. Why are trolls praising Trump? Because they're fucking trolls. No tax on tips didn't happen. You can pay no tax on part of your tips at the end of the year. What was sold to the American people as no tax on tips was a lie. It didn't happen. MAGA is just stubbornness. It's cultism. It's an American political cult. I'm a democratic socialist and would have loved to see Kamala Harris as president. I was impressed by her policies, exactly. Does MAGA never not rage over everything? No, they always rage about everything. What is this? Still time to get... Oh, DQ. You definitely need some rain in Bradenton, right on. Trump administration. So you named one policy that I told you didn't happen, and you just went back to your digital Tourette's, screaming out Trump administration whenever you get a chance to. Do I think Iran will surrender? Never. Never. I think a European reclamation of the U.S. would be better than keeping Trump. Right? Exactly. Well, I mean, Eggy, that's what it seems to be, right? He just blurts out shit at any point in time because he needs to be seen. Odd for somebody who hides their identity. Tip your server with cash whenever possible? Absolutely. Absolutely. So they don't have to claim any of it. Like Pokemon, yeah. Not buying junk food with food stamps. So you don't know any Trump policies. You don't know any Trump. You're just an ignorant fuck in here running your mouth, right? Okay, bye-bye. You're hidden now. You can still comment in the room. We just won't see your comments anymore. So please, by all means, continue to boost the algorithms of this live, and we'll enjoy not seeing you. Get fucked, my friend. And once you're fucked, make sure and stay fucked. Get fucked, my friend. Scream into the yawning chasm that is the interwebs. Yes, God forbid the poors have a candy bar. Heaven forbid. The most apropos ending to Trump's existence would be if he were stripped of all of his powers, convicted of the crimes that he has committed, put into prison for a period of time, have all of his assets seized, turn Mar-a-Lago into a home for women who have been trafficked, and then he lives long enough to get out of prison and doesn't have a fucking dime to his name. That would be the most apropos punishment. If he took his last breath in some shelter in New York somewhere or Florida because he didn't have a fucking dime to his name, that would be perfect. Waiting for the biggest world celebration with the obit. I have heard of the ranch, yes. What do you prefer, sativa or indica? Sativa. So we can't buy junk food no more with food stamps. That's sad. You people look at it in a different way. But when you retire and you're collecting food stamps, you can't buy a Coke or Pepsi. I wish, but dude, looks like he's about to drop dead any minute. You talking about Trump? Yeah, the thing about that is, though, is that he's the president of the United States and he's a billionaire. He has access to all of the best doctors, all of the best medicine, all of the. If there is a state of the art, cutting edge medical technique, it's available to him. What will Fox News report on when the whole world is celebrating? I don't know. Hopefully, they're playing the fucking clips of people dancing in the goddamn streets. Right, Frankie? Good boy. For some reason, the worst people seem to hang on despite poor health. I think I have figured out the secret to immortality, and that is this: the good die young, but pricks live forever. And I'm a fucking prick. Heather? I agree. Thank you guys for tapping the screen. Continue, if you could, please tap in the screen. Let's blow this live up. I'm in a bit of an algorithm slump. It happens, it comes and it goes, but the way you boost somebody out of an algorithm slump is really interacting with all of their video content, liking, sharing, commenting, things, every video that they post, and then doing the same with these lives, tapping the like button, sharing the live. It'll help boost me out of my algorithm slump. Heaven won't take him, and the devil doesn't want to be around him. I'm wondering if the earth is going to reject him when they eventually bury his ass. Like, will Mother Earth spit his carcass back to the surface? Don't want that. Sorry for the rather graphic audio there, but it felt necessary at the moment. That's life. That's life. Hey Tom, hey back at you. It's spring break in the South. Congratulations. It's not spring break in the North. Yes. What do you think about Jesse Ventura? Nuttier than an outhouse at an acorn festival, but he has some damn good points. I love these impromptu lives. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Hopefully he stays in hell. I don't believe in a heaven or a hell, so I don't think he's going to get that kind of eternal damnation, but it is nice to think about. How's Renee doing? She's doing all right. She's over at her mom's house sewing. She is cranking on the quilts right now. How much is gas in Chicago? In the city of Chicago, I don't know. Out here in the suburbs, though, and I'm in the far suburbs, we're in the 340s. Diesel's over $5 a gallon. Everything's going back up. Are you pro-Israel or pro-Palestine? Yes. Yes. I am pro the Israeli people and the Palestinian people being able to live their fucking lives and not being used as pawns in this forever fucking game between the Israeli government and Hamas. I think that the Israeli government and the terrorist organization known as Hamas has done terrible things to these people, and they don't fucking deserve it. These are people that are just trying to live their goddamn lives. So I'm in favor of the people of both countries no longer being manipulated and killed over the whims of two powers that are never going to like one another, that are never going to get along with one another. So when you ask me, am I pro-Palestinian or am I pro-Israeli? Yeah, I'm pro the people of both countries and anti the power structures of both countries. As far as I'm concerned, Benjamin Netanyahu is a terrorist, just like Hamas. They're both horrible, horrible organizations. The Israeli government and Hamas. And that is not to say that I don't recognize the fact that Israel has been through a lot of shit as a result of Arab uprising. And they have been the brunt of a lot of violence over the decades, over the generations. But God damn it, enough is a fuck enough. Enough is enough. There has got to be a way for Israel to exist and Palestine to exist. And there has to be. There fucking has to be. There has to be a way for those two countries to exist and not fucking destroy each other. $3 a gallon in Texas. Yeah, it's starting to creep up all over the place. Anyone watch the One Piece season 2? I don't know what One Piece is. Hang on. Alexa, set the heat to 67, please. Alexa, stop. No. Anime turned live action about One Piece. Okay, yeah, I don't watch anime. I've never seen any of that. So I don't have my space heater on, Renee. And no, it's just that it's warm enough that it doesn't need to be running like that. I want it warmer when I'm sleeping at night. Why am I polite to Alexa? I don't know. I'm not always polite when I'm talking to Alexa. I'll tell you who's not polite when she speaks to Alexa is my wife, because Alexa doesn't pay attention to my wife. For some fucked up reason, my wife has got to give that goddamn thing 30 fucking commands before it'll fucking listen to her, before it'll recognize her goddamn voice. Sorry if I tripped off your Alexa. My bad. Got to be polite so when AI takes over. Yeah, exactly. They'll recognize us as friendlies. God, am I going to... I am... Listen, the one thing I never want to do is die. I am going to be so fucking thankful I'm going to be dead when that shit happens, when the fucking robots take over. When technology defeats mankind. I will be fucking glad I'm dead. Right, Hamish? Next thing you know, I'm just cooking in the house. This person says, what's your story musically? You obviously like the Dead. How often do you play the guitar? I love the Dead. You've got the Grateful Dead guitar. This is the Grateful Dead on stage at Alpine Valley. You got the Steely here that a fan made for me. You've got this Serigraph, one of 5,000 made. You got this Grateful Dead piece over here. You got this hand drawing of Jerry Garcia up here on the wall in front of me. I got all of Jerry's mini guitars back here on the shelf. Love the Grateful Dead. I don't ever play the guitar. I don't know how to play the guitar. That's art. That's why it's hanging on the wall. I'm just really into music, as you can tell. And I spent some time following the Dead around when I was a wee youth. What are all of the skulls? They're just collector skulls. They're the skulls of my enemies. That's all. Guys, if you could do me a huge favor, tap the fuck out of the screen. It helps the like count, which helps the algorithm. And I'm trying to bounce out of an algorithm slump. Sometimes your videos are on fire, and sometimes they're not getting many views. And it's because the algorithm comes and goes. Not everybody gets to be on the For You page at the same time. It happens all the time. It's not a conspiracy. But the way that you can help get me out of that algorithm slump is by boosting all of my content, starting with the live by tapping the fuck out of the screen, sharing it to your Facebook, your Instagram. You know, there's a little arrow where you can share it. And then going to my content on my page and just interacting, watching all of the videos, liking them, sharing them, commenting on them, something that helps boost them back into the For You page, into the algorithm. Hamish, thank you very much. I have a Ben & Jerry's Cherry Garcia that is signed by the band when it was first made. Not my thing. Can I send it to you? Are you sure? If it's something that's autographed by the band and it's not your thing, don't you want to maybe get some money off of it? I mean, yeah, I have a P.O. box. It's in my bio. It's on my website. I'm more than happy to take it, but I mean, maybe make some money off it. I do have hype on YouTube, yes. If you could hype all my videos, that would be fantastic as well. Just trying to boost things up out of an algorithm slump, that's all. I have like 10 live channels subscribed to. I was lucky I could find you. See? But if we could change that, I'll get another jump in viewership, which would be nice. In Sweden, fast food costs a lot. How is it in the USA? Oh, it's so if my wife and I, if Renee and I were going to go to the closest fast food restaurant to us is Arby's. If Renee and I were going to go to Arby's and we were each going to get a sandwich and we were going to get maybe an order of fries and an order of potato cakes and one drink, because my wife Renee typically doesn't drink. Oh, you can only hype 3 videos a week. My apologies. That's going to run us 25, 26 bucks, maybe 28 bucks. It's crazy. Your channel showed randomly here in the UK. That's how I found you. Right on. K-Pasa from the UK. Nada from the US. Thank you very much, Eggy, for the $2 donation. Like, comment, share, subscribe, everyone. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Shefaqualadas Sada. I don't know how to say your name. Sod. We'll call you Sod. Thank you. Ever heard of the band Linkin Park? Yeah, not my jam. What's your idea of the best breakfast? Breakfast? My idea of the best breakfast is the one in the buffet at Sandals Ochi. That would be the Sandals Resort in Ocho Rios, Jamaica. That's my idea of the best breakfast. Sitting there with the doors open, breeze blowing in, enjoying a nice breakfast before heading back to the room and getting changed, or heading directly to the beach to chill out for the day. That's my idea of the best breakfast. Your videos do not pop up anymore. I didn't realize until I saw you were live. That's what I'm trying to do here live. I'm trying to boost myself out of an algorithm slump because they're just not being pushed right now. So if you guys could just go to, if you have some time, go to my page and go through all my most recent videos. Watch them all the way through. like, maybe comment, maybe share. It'll help boost me out of it. You got a coin? Thanks, Eggy. How's my morning been? It's been morningish, you know. Hyped your most recent video. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, Steele. Well, Swedish Chief, I bought a McDonald's new Arch burger, and that out the door was $12.45 with tax. And for the large fry or chips was $5.67. And oh shit, god damn! For both it was $18. The new Arch burger doesn't even look good to me, first and foremost. So I'm definitely not trying that. But yeah, see, it's you could just go to a fucking restaurant and for a few bucks more eat a better meal. Mississippi, hello. Thank you, Maria. Duh. I'll comment, but I don't want you to think I've gone crazy and started suck. I understand. Haggis? You can find haggis in the United States at various places. I've never had haggis. The idea of consuming haggis makes me want a haggis. Makes me want to call some dinosaurs. You know what I mean? I did see the video of the McDonald's CEO trying the Arch burger, and it didn't look like he was interested in even coming close to eating that burger. And then other fast food CEOs did the same, like mocking him, including the Burger King guy. What's your idea of living for good in a country like Thailand or Vietnam? I don't want to leave the United States of America. However, if it got bad enough here, I would be in favor of moving to another country. And I've already expressed interest to Renee that if shit got that fucking bad, I've already looked at houses in Costa Rica. I'd be down with Jamaica. I'd be down with Canada. I think I would want to stay in this hemisphere, especially if we continue to have family back here in the United States of America. I don't know that I would want to go to Asia and drop off the map, so to speak, from a U.S. standpoint. But yeah, I'd move to Costa Rica tomorrow if I thought that it was the right move. I just can't see us leaving the family. All of our kids, all of our grandkids, my in-laws, they're all here. Would I move to Puerto Rico? No, because it's a U.S. territory controlled by the U.S. If I was just going to get out of Illinois and look for a tropical place but stay in the country, I'd go to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I mean, that would be that for me. I mean, we want to stay in the country, but we want to be in a warm climate. We don't want to be in a red state. Fine. St. Croix, St. John's, one of those. What happens when we die? We rot. That's it. We return our energy to the earth. Mother Nature takes back what is hers. Are the bears moving? Yeah, out of the city of Chicago to Arlington Heights, Illinois. Just make sure to integrate with the local culture. The locals don't like Americans not integrating to their land and gentrifying their towns. Totally understand. I have I have no problem just blending into a crowd of people completely different from me. I can blend into a crowd in Mexico. Do I have the munchies? No, I haven't eaten anything yet this morning, so I'm just eating a few snacks, and then I'm going to go have lunch after a little while. But I was wanting to boost my page up here, and I was actually helping a friend on a live on TikTok earlier, so I didn't go live here as early as I wanted to go to try and help boost the page out of this algorithm slump. But yeah, I have no problem integrating with more of the local culture. I can just blend into a crowd in Mexico. I can blend into a crowd, oddly enough, in Jamaica. I got no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. Am I going to adopt every culture that they have? Obviously not. But yeah, that wouldn't be an issue. If Renee looked at me and said, "All right, listen, here's the deal. I'm ready to go. We need to get the fuck out of here. Costa Rica, pick a house." You would still see content from me, but yeah, I we would extricate ourselves from the fucking world. We would be living off somewhere in Costa Rica, in some secluded spot. Yeah, you wouldn't see us in public again. Tom strikes me as a people watcher out in public. I feel like people watchers tend to have an easy time being. We do watch people a lot, especially when we're traveling. I watch and interact with people while we're traveling all the time. Love it. How old am I? 53. I will be 54 on May 13th. Do you have kids at home still? Our youngest is 14 and in eighth grade. He's in school right now. We have four children. Renee and I have three children together, and I have a child. The oldest is my child. So Renee and I have a soon to be 25-year-old daughter, a 21-year-old daughter, and a 14-year-old son. And then a few years ago, we did 23andMe tests, just kind of fucking around to see how much Italian I have in me or how much Polish she has in her. And through that DNA testing, I discovered a daughter I didn't know existed in Southern Indiana from a hookup at a party when I was in high school, who is in her 30s, married with two kids. So Renee and I have four children, three daughters and a son. We have two granddaughters. My oldest, our oldest has two daughters, and our 25, our soon to be 25-year-old is expecting in May. Our daughter will be 25 in May, and she's expecting her first child in May as well. So, four children, two, almost three grandchildren. Eggy, you have no idea how crazy it is. You want to here? Let me just, Eggy. Let me back that up for a minute. Let me expand on the craziness of that story. So I had an account on TikTok that had 1.5 million followers before it got banned. I had built a rather large following over there, and we did this DNA test. My wife had kind of been busting my chops for years. You're not as Italian as you say you are. Just as husbands and wives do. And then I got this deal on 2 DNA tests, and so we did it. And if somebody else does the same test, even if it was years ago, their DNA is in the database and it hooks you up. And so I ended up with 9 million sixth cousins, 3 times removed. There's somebody that's in the bloodline. And the higher up the list you get, the more the matches are. And the top match for me was a daughter who her mother is legitimately crazy, and she never knew who her father was. And so when I first reached out to her through the DNA app to say, "Hey, this thing says that I'm your father," her and her husband had been following me on that TikTok account for 7 months, watching me regularly. And she saw my profile picture on the DNA app, which was the same profile picture as TikTok, same name. And she freaked out and called her husband at work and said, "Hey, you know that fucking guy in Chicago that we watch with the guitar hanging on the wall? Yeah, the guy with the big beard? Yeah, that's my dad." He goes, "Get the fuck out of here. It's not your dad." She goes, "No, that's my dad." So then we started conversing with one another, and she looks exactly like Renee and I's older daughter. They look the same. They're in the same career field. They have the same types of tattoos down their arm. They're identical. And then we went to go meet them. They live down in Southern Indiana where I went to high school. That's where she was conceived. That's where she was born. That's where she grew up. We went down to meet them. And when I called the hotel in the town that we were going to stay in to confirm that the pool was going to be open for the weekend that we were going to be down there, the manager that answered the phone went, "Yeah, everything's cool, yada, yada, yada. By the way, are you Tom Powell Jr. from TikTok?" And I went, "How do you know that?" And he goes, "I recognize the voice, brother." So then when I went down to meet our daughter for the first time, got a new friend. Yeah, hang on a second. That's not what I wanted to do. Ah, the one on the right is my daughter from that I conceived in high school. The one on the left is our oldest together. They look identical. They're very, very close to one another. Do you avoid politics when you have holiday meals? I mean, we avoid politics when we have holiday meals when we're dealing with my in laws, and that's just because we don't want to piss anybody off by having a political discussion, not because they're MAGAs. When it comes to our personal family, no problem. Every one of my kids are liberals, every one of my kids are Democrats, and at least two of my kids are so far left, they make me look like Ronald Reagan. So, that daughter, that oldest daughter of ours, lives in Southern Indiana, is married, has two kids. Our soon to be 25-year-old lives with her boyfriend. She's expecting her first child. Our 21-year-old is in her junior year at UIC in the city of Chicago, and our 14-year-old will be graduating eighth grade in a couple of months. Looks like I found the files. Huh? Thank you for the heart gift. I appreciate that. Do you like Jefferson Airplane? Yes. I like Jefferson Airplane. I don't like what they become when they became Starship. Like I was like, wow, that's a. As a matter of fact, Jefferson Airplane to Starship, I think, is the biggest change of any band I have ever made, or I've ever seen. Oh, the guy's name, yes, I know what you're talking about now. My apologies. Good afternoon to you too, Ricardo. If you guys, once again, if you could please tap the fuck out of the screen. I'm in a bit of an algorithm slump here on YouTube, and it happens. It's not any conspiratorial bullshit, but by interacting with all of my content, including this live, it'll help boost me out of that algorithm slump and put my videos back on the For You page. The story on the hang guitar. I don't play guitar. I never learned how. It's art. This guitar actually fell into the hands of the guy who owns the local music shop back in 2020. He called me, asked me if I wanted to buy it before he put it out for sale. I said no because I don't know how to play. And then he called my wife and said, "Are we sure that he doesn't want this?" And then my wife bought it behind my back in September or October of 2020, hid it in my daughter's bedroom. And on Christmas Day 2020, after we had opened up all of our gifts and I was in the process of cleaning up the wrapping paper, she brought this out in its case and handed it to me and said, "And by the way, here, because I know that this should be in your hands." I don't know how to play the guitar. Otherwise, I would. I never learned. Hey, my friend, just wanted to stop and say I love your videos and shorts. Thank you very much. If you could do me a huge favor, interact with them today. I'm in an algorithm slump. My videos are not being pushed to the For You page at the moment, and we can break that by engaging with as many videos as possible. Watching them all the way through, best way to do it. Liking them, commenting on them, sharing them is going to help too. Tapping the screen here helps. Commenting here helps. Sharing this live helps. It'll just help me boost me out of that shit. You got to make a video about the guitar and pin it for everyone to see. My friend, I've been doing this for years now. Since 2020 on TikTok, it is the number one question I get asked in lives. Hey man, what about the guitar? And in videos. Hey man, tell us about the guitar. I've done 24 videos about this guitar. Did you been at Woodstock? No, Woodstock was a few years before I was born. It's very funny to whip out at parties because it's one string and goes up and down. Hello from Philadelphia. The first thing I ever learned on the guitar was a Star Wars theme on the smallest string. Okay. I was like, what the hell is he talking about? I had to go back and see the earlier one. Somebody came in here with a shit ton. Slava Ukraine. I'm like, man, my man is posting some shit. Good day to you as well. Keep doing what you do. I'm planning on it. First concert I ever attended was the Beach Boys with opening act Bryan Adams at Poplar Creek Outdoor Theater in the northwest suburbs of Chicago, which is no longer there. The Beach Boys were making a big comeback with Kokomo, and Bryan Adams was all over the radio with all of his songs. And my parents, or my dad and stepmother at the time, wanted to go see the Beach Boys, and we wanted to go. So it was my first concert, the Beach Boys. Read you 5x5, Big Skull Daddy. I have some things to do, but I'll have to hit the booster button. I appreciate that, man. My mom wanted to be the drummer for the Beach Boys. Sounded like a great show. Would have liked to spend it that. It was a good show. Yeah, I mean, we sat on the lawn at Poplar Creek, which is kind of like sitting in the lawn up at Deer Creek or Alpine Valley. Your first concert was Sha Na Na at the Holiday Star Theater. Do I ride a motorcycle? No. I drive a 2021 Jeep Cherokee, and that is it. That is what I operate. Tesla was probably the most underrated hair metal band of that era. Would I move to Indiana if it turned blue? Once again, probably not, given the fact that most of our family is up here. Are we allowed to ask about Mary Jane? I just wanted to pick your brain on different strains and your preferences. You're allowed to ask me whatever the fuck you want to ask me. Whether or not I answer it is a different question. As far as strains go, I never pay attention to the fucking strains. My guy puts shit in the bag and I smoke it. This particular strain is, I don't know, whatever the end of that bag was. It didn't really have a name on it. So, your first concert was Ozzy and Korn. That's a hell of a show. Not a huge Korn fan, but Ozzy for sure. I got Ozzy up here on the wall. See him up there in the corner with Randy? Way up in the corner there? You love pre-rolls? These are, I pack these in the raw cones. These aren't pre-rolled. I buy loose and then I grind them and I pack them. That is a scar. You talk about this right here? This is a discoloration that oddly enough comes and goes over the years. It's weird. This is a scar. Trump knows about you, Tom. I hope the motherfucker does. Hopefully he posts one of my videos and bitches about it. You know how much fucking publicity that would give for me? The flood of people that would come into the comment sections would come and watch my content. I hope he posts 3 of my videos. We went to Vancouver, Canada, to get on a celebrity cruise ship back in August to go up the Alaskan coast. And before we went, my wife's like, I'm just wondering if they're going to let you back into the country. I go, do you know how much fucking content I could get out of them stopping me from coming into the country? Stay Kids? Yes, I hope Trump knows about all of us. I saw Jethro Tull at Chicago Theater in '89. Damn. And the Chicago Theater, we watch comedy shows there. That's a hell of a place to see a show, but like no place to just like fucking stand and rock out other than standing right in front of your chair, obviously. Come on, Tom, pronounce his name right. It's not Trump, it's Chump. Well, you can call him Trump, you can call him Chump, you can call him Der Muskfuhrer, the Mango Mussolini, Cheeto Jesus. Pre-K-pop band? Never heard of him. Phantom of the Opera at the Opera House in Chicago. or dump. You can call them dump. You can call them T-rump. I do hybrids because sativa gives me a headache and indica makes me melt in my chair. I listen, historically over the course of my life, weed has made me want to go do things. Like Renee would go to work, I'd burn a little bit of weed, and then I'd clean the house. No, not spotless. I'm not even close to suggesting that, but I do the dishes, do some laundry, pick up some shit in the living room, shit like that. It always made me want to do stuff. Now, it helps sort of keep me motivated on a day when I'm making content. When on the days that I do content, it's like having a job, but it's an easy job. I'm not bitching about it by any stretch, but it is like having a job, right? You got to create the content, and so I put schedules on myself, and I put, I need to do this in my head, boom, 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 and the weed kind of helps me keep running through all of that. You know what I mean? How are you this evening, good sir? Well, it's not the evening here. We are about 8 minutes to noon here in the Chicagoland area. You just watched my Taco Bell video. What happens to MAGA if the GOP loses in the midterm? Nothing. Do I like Nirvana? No, I hate Nirvana. Weed makes you lazy, old folks would say. Exactly. That bullshit that everybody's just sitting around stoned, not doing anything. Listen, there are times when you do that too. But with me, like, yeah, I like doing stuff when I'm high. Like, taking a shower when you're high is phenomenal. Do I remember brickweed? Does a hobby horse have a wooden dick? Of course I remember brickweed. That was all we smoked back in the 80s was brickweed. And you got yourself a quarter ounce or whatever, a half ounce of weed, and you're talking about removing the seeds and stem. Yeah, I had a Coca-Cola oval shaped, it was like a serving dish with a raised lip on it. It wasn't a rolling tray, but that's what we used it for. And I put all the weed in there on one end, and I'd grab a pair of regular old scissors, right? And I would put my hand over the weed, and I'd run the scissors up underneath there, and I would just, because I didn't have grinders back then, and I would just continuously turn the weed and chop and turn and chop until I had a fine chop down. And then keep it all in that pile, and I would take the flap of the rolling paper, right? So if you were doing JOBs or tops or whatever the case may be, it had a little flap on it. And then you ever so slightly tilted that end of the rolling tray up, and I would sift with the flap of the rolling paper. So you lift and drop it back in the pile. And what it does is it makes the stems and seeds, for the most part, fall out and roll down the tray. And at the end of that process, you had a pile of pretty much stem and seed free ground up weed, and all of your stems and seeds were down here. It was a process, don't get me wrong, but we weren't afraid of hard work back then. And so, you did the work you needed to do in order to get high. And yeah, it was all brown ditchweed. It was all that. There was no fucking names. There were no fucking strains. This one's called They're Coming, They're Coming. No, there's none of that. It was fucking weed. That's all it was. As Cat Williams would call it, regular weed. What you going for? Regular weed. And I bought it from Fat Pam. That was her name. Her name was Pam. She was a big old fat lady who lived in the middle of town. Nice as pie. We all loved Fat Pam. I got Fat Pam a fucking Mother's Day gift back in the 80s. And Fat Pam, she sold to guys like me who didn't buy in any kind of quantity. Now you buy quarter ounce, half ounce, 2 ounces. No, you went in and you bought pre-rolled pinner joints. And I forget what the normal price was, but I do remember it was this amount per joint, or it was you could buy 3 for $5. And so it was just the math was simple, right? Gas was under $1 a gallon, a pack of smokes was under $1 a gallon, and you could get 3 for $5 at Fat Pam's house. So if you and two of your friends each had $10, you could fill up one of your tanks. Everybody gets a pack of smokes. Everybody gets 3 for $5 from Fat Pam, and your Friday or Saturday night was set. You cruised, we were in Linton, Indiana, and you cruised down the main drag of Linton, Indiana, from the Dairy Queen on one end to the Long John Silver's at the other end, and you just kind of see who's in all the parking lots, and you have your music playing, and you're burning your fucking joints, and you stop in this parking lot, and you match a joint with somebody, and you stop in this parking lot and see what's going on, and of course everybody was looking for the same thing, who's going to bed with who tonight. And more often than not, your boy went home and went to bed alone because I wasn't that guy, but I did always have weed. I had what happened to Fat Pam? Oh, I remember she got arrested. So there were a few different dealers in town. For a small town, it was shocking to learn that. There were a few different dealers in town, and Fat Pam was one of the many that got arrested in like a 5 a.m. Bust. Anybody that was selling weed in town, the cops busted them that morning. And I remember we had just been there a couple hours early, like in the middle of the night, we were there picking up. And then we heard that after the sun came up that she had got busted. That's what actually led to me for a short period of time selling weed in that town, was because everybody got busted, and then an older friend of mine hooked me up with a gentleman he knew, and they were looking to sell weed in the town and coke. And they had a guy to sell the powder, and they had my friend to sell the weed to the bikers, but they didn't have anybody that knew any of the high school aged smokers. So they were like, "You know the high school kids, right?" And I'm like, "Well, that's my fucking age group." And they're like, "You want to sell to them?" And I'm like, "Yeah, we can do that." And so that's how Fat Pam getting busted is how I wound up selling for a short period of time. And then she came back to town and was working in one of the warehouses for a period of time. I remember that. I don't know what the hell happened to her after that, to be honest with you. Don't, never heard, never really inquired after that. It's been fucking years since I've seen Fat Pam. She was just a nice lady, though. I'll sell you weed, Tom, anytime you are in West Virginia. I appreciate that. Do you ever consider doing call-in debates with MAGA? I feel like I might as well be asking if you want your eyelids stretched. No, listen, I know a bunch of people that do like lives on a daily basis on TikTok, especially, where they have these MAGA creators or MAGA commenters come into their lives and they debate them. To me, and every now and again I'll jump into one of those lives to just kind of yell at one of them, but to me it seems like a monumental waste of time. I don't feel like spending an hour giving a platform that I built to somebody who just wants to use it to spew nonsense and propaganda. But also, B, I don't want to spend an hour of my time yelling over somebody else, not changing anybody's mind, and then follow that up with 2 weeks of both of us making content directed at the other person, talking about how we owned them. No, I'll make the content spotlighting the lies, spotlighting the propaganda, pointing out the candidates I think that we should vote for. And if any of them have a problem with it, they can line up to kiss the darkest part of my lily white ass. Have I tried dabbing? Yeah, no, we're not doing that. I'm afraid my lungs would collapse. Once again, if you guys could please tap the screen. That produces, you see a little heart flowing up on the side of the screen here. That produces likes. Likes push the live into the For You page more, and I'm trying to kick myself out of an algorithm slump. The For You page comes and goes on all of these platforms. YouTube is no different, and I'm just in a little bit of an algorithm slump right now. And we can jog our page out of that by you guys interacting with the content. going here, liking and sharing this live, going to the videos, especially the most recent videos, right? The last 2 days worth of videos, and just kind of going through, watching them in their entirety, liking them, commenting, maybe sharing. That'll help boost everything back to the For You page. I was wondering if you could see that. Completely valid points. I was thinking more like debates with random people that don't make content and call in. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a debate person necessarily. I do have online arguments with people in lives from time to time. I also, so like I go live on Monday nights with a guest. I interview a guest. It's me and a guest. And then on Saturday nights, my wife and I are going to go live together talking about non-political stuff. And lives like this, I like lives like this way more because I get a chance to interact with the people that actually watch my content rather than giving my platform to some fucking shit stain that wants to come on here and tell me that the earth is flat and the election was rigged and whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather do this. Oh, nice. That's 3 hours in a row now that we're seeing a significant jump in viewership. I appreciate it. We got to keep that going, man. That is great. Where did you learn about how YouTube works? Really a combination of like fucking with it. Renee, my wife, doing an extraordinarily deep dive. Wasn't she trying to get your dad to be her daddy? What was I just talking about that made you say that? Congrats on viewership. I'm trying, man. Thoughts on Afro Man? Huh? The fuck? The Mother's Day. Oh. Was Fat Pam trying to get my dad to be her daddy? No, that was a different woman in town. Fat Pam was the drug dealer that a lot of the good old boys in town didn't like because she liked black guys, and she always had black guys living with her, and they didn't like that. And then she hooked up with a black guy from the carnival that came through town, and whoa, Nelly, did they not like that? No, you're talking about the daughter of Ralph Sprinkle in town, a friend of my grandfather's, who was my father's age, who was trying to get her some of that Powell sausage. Now, in that case, it wouldn't have been Italian sausage like in your case, but it would have been some of that Jimmy Dean's down on the farm sausage. But yeah, she was trying to get herself some sausage, a little bit of the backwards Jesus. And I'm not sure, if I'm being completely honest with you, if the two of them didn't ever wallpaper the closet. You know what I mean? I'm not. I'm not entirely sure they didn't. They used to hang out up at the Palace Bar. A lot of dark roads between the Palace Bar and. Sorry, it sounded like a school bus pulled up in front. A lot of dark roads between the Palace Bar and home. So I'm not sure that they didn't get funky. I watch every video of yours. Don't comment all the time, but I share them, especially the funny ones. Thank you. I appreciate that. That really does help because that is how we make our income now. You guys watch the videos on YouTube for free, and they put ads on them, right? You watch those videos with those ads, it's free to you, and YouTube shares the revenue that they collect from those ads with us. And so the more you watch, the more revenue that gets shared with us. So I do appreciate that. No, it wasn't a case of the trots. It was me trying to see if there was something pulling up in front of the house. Because there's also, I have a delivery, a Chewy delivery out today, and it's raining. So if the Chewy delivery is going to show up, which is going to be cat food and cat treats and peanuts for the birds outside. I don't want it sitting out in the rain. You want to feature me in a song someday, baby drama? How does that work? Send me an email. Thanks for all the great information. Keep up the great work. Thank you very much. What is worst person you have done a video on? Oh, that's hard to say. There have been people that are at, like right now, I've done video here in the last few days, did video of people on both sides of the aisle, by the way, advocating for Iran to have a nuclear weapon because the only country that we get wiped out is Israel and there's no big deal there. And I'm like, whoa, 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 the fuck? But there have been some really scummy people over this past several years. The Blue Jays need to eat, Tom? Yeah, why do you think I got 3 fucking boxes of peanuts coming in today? Yes, they do. Need to eat. Fetterman is useless. Fetterman might as well go ahead and change his affiliation. I think someday we should get one of those old-time weed, smoky, relaxed Tom Petty type tunes and get your audio samples in somehow. Call me. Let me know. We'll work it out. It's a lot of peanuts. We put out 2, like, I don't know, maybe it's about 2/3 or half the size of this cup. We put out 2 of those of peanuts a day. And the Blue Jays eat them, and the squirrels eat them, and some of the other larger birds eat them. Yeah, just give me a call, 2490, or an email. Who would I want as the next president? Who I want to be the next president isn't going to be the next president because the country is not ready for that. I would really like to see Pete Buttigieg be president. I would like to give him a shot at what I think would be calming the country down, giving the country a more steady hand at the top. But I think the people of this fucking country would lose their ever-loving shit if a gay man had the opportunity to be president. They've already shown that they've lost their ever-loving shit when it comes to a woman being president. But if you tell me of the people that we know right now, and we don't know the people that haven't crept up yet, if I could handpick one of the motherfuckers that's in the upper top tier of the Democratic Party or the liberal side of the aisle to be president, yeah, I would reach in and I would pluck out Pete Buttigieg. If somebody said that my vote was the only one that mattered, yeah, I'll run with 4 years with Pete. I'll give him a 4-year chance. And I'll bet money that at the end of that 4 years, if he ran for re-election, he would have so much success in that first 4 years that his re-election would be sort of in the bag. Yeah, I'm so done with Bernie. So aggravated with everything that went down with that. And to be honest with you, I just, like you said, you wish he was younger. And the age thing, all of them, Pelosi, Angus King, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell, all of them on both sides of the aisle of that age need to fucking go. And I don't even want people of my generation necessarily taking over the Gen Xers. Seriously, I just let the millennials and Gen Zers work it out. This is their world now. I'm going to tell you something, Dave. Dave Gibbs just asked about my governor, J.B. Pritzker. I'm telling you right now, I would not be surprised if J.B. Pritzker is the Democratic nominee in 2028. J.B. Pritzker has taken on an extraordinarily large number of progressive viewpoints. He is a billionaire with progressive viewpoints. So he is leaning into the far left crowd, the while still attracting like the moderate Democrats for his some of his positions. He's attracting the far left crowd, and he's got the money. Nobody needs to give him a fucking dime of campaign funds if they don't want to. He could win the fucking thing out of pocket. You watch JB Pritzker in 2028. I'm telling you. I would not be surprised if he's the nominee. So everybody better start getting familiar with what JB's about and what he stands for, because he's going to be a player in 28. What is this now? Still can't believe America was dumb enough to give Trump another term. Absolutely. And AOC delivers just milquetoast responses. And see, that's the thing is, if JB Pritzker got the nomination, if he got the delegates to get the nomination, I could easily see JB Pritzker wanting to have a woman on the ticket and searching through the ranks of the best known progressive type of women in the Democratic Party. And I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like AOC rose to the top. I think it's a bad move because if you're a Democrat, you don't need help winning New York. You might need help with women, and that would be a good thing to think of it from that standpoint. But then maybe a Gretchen Whitmer, where you can lock down some Rust Belt states, along with appealing to some women. Maybe a Jasmine Crockett who comes out of Texas. I just don't know that Jasmine Crockett helps as much with Texas as people think. Gavin Newsom, right now, if you told me I had to bet my house who the Democratic nominee is going to be in 2028, I would tell you it's Gavin Newsom. But once again, we got a long way to go, and the whole attitude of the country could change once we go through the midterms. Depending on what the results of the midterms are, the attitude of the country could take a very sharp turn. But yeah, if you ask me right now hey, Tom, you got to bet your house who is the fucking nominee going to be, I would say that I would bet it would be Gavin Newsom. All signs seems to be pointing towards us heading to that inevitability. Who's the worst Republican and the worst Democrat in American history? Well, to me, the worst Republican is Trump because he's the only president to ever try to overthrow his own government. Worst Democrat? Well, there've been some shitty fucking Democrats over the years. That's a good question. I'd have to think about that. Yeah, I would really appreciate it if people didn't bring up the fact that the Indianapolis Colts traded one of their best players to the Pittsburgh Steelers, because it's kind of fucking aggravating. Not to be rude, but did you get a good night's rest? Your eyes look more drained than normal. I have been having trouble sleeping because of a sciatic pain, and so last night I took a big old shot of NyQuil, and I slept like a fucking baby, but I woke up hungover like I typically do when I have the NyQuil. But yeah, my eyes, I mean, I'm always fucking drained. I don't know shit about Carney, really. I can't intelligently speak about Carney. I don't know enough about him. Jasmine Crockett impresses me with her preparation, reminds me of Katie Porter. Yes, Katie Porter brings receipts for her receipts. But like people like Katie Porter and AOC and Jasmine Crockett, hell, I mean, There are so many on the Democratic side that have a lot of good points, a lot of good ideas, but don't have the executive experience or the international exposure that I think it takes to be president of the United States. Pete Buttigieg barely has that. I have had 4 major setbacks or major back surgeries. My apologies, and I know back pain. So I am sorry that you're going. Do you go to? No, I'm never going to a chiropractor. Nope, 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 nope. And it's really more like an ass pain down my leg to my ankle, and it's not even all the time. Like last night, the NyQuil really knocked me out, and right now I haven't had Tylenol yet today, and I am feeling marketably better this morning or today. So knock on wood, I don't think that that's going to continue. But right now, it seems to have subsided. And for that, I am grateful because this was bitch. This was a very much bitch. I don't trust a chiropractor if my life depends on it, says Roger. Katie Porter had fire that I appreciate, but I don't know if you've just been so disconnected. Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. She did crash out on that interview hard, too. Yeah, I don't do the chiropractor thing either. It just, it almost seems cultish. Almost. Yeah, I'm not happy that Gavin Newsom did that, Tom. That's the thing is, I know that I am not going to agree with everything that a candidate I'm going to go vote for president or senator or House representatives stands for. I know that. I have not agreed with 100% of anybody that I have ever voted for. I am man enough to say that things like that you're talking about with the billionaires in California, I don't agree with it. I don't agree with it. But I can still support him if he is my nominee because of the other 98% of the shit that we do agree on. You know what I mean? Does the weed help you with physical pain? It does for me, especially with pepper terps. It can. It can. I these days I typically use weed to just kind of keep a rounded edge, but not really get high, like high. But if I'm feeling a lot of pain, then yeah, I won't just take a couple of hits. I'll sit down and consume enough to dull the pain, if you will. We're getting more rain. Can you guys excuse me for one moment? What's wrong with your eye? Yes, I do watch Midas Touch, and I have used several of their clips in pieces of my content. Yuck, a liberal live stream. Have you not figured out how to scroll yet? Is that feature stumping you? Do you find yourself trapped in a live that you don't like going, gee, how do I get myself out of here now? I respect and hear people who can do roll joints. I just can't. I need my water bottle. Fair enough. You like the skulls? Thank you very much. Tennessee Brando was on my Monday Night Live a few weeks ago. If you want to watch that live, every live that I've ever done, including this one, will is archived. This one will eventually, when it ends, get archived on my page in the form of a video, so you can go back and watch that interview with Tennessee Brando. When you go to my page, there's a most popular section, there's a for you section, then there are videos and shorts, and then you'll come to the live section, and you can go scroll through every old live I have ever done. You're telling me to go away, Carrie? You've tried to roll for 30 years. I'm not rolling anymore. I'm using this. Hello, Rory. I have never watched any of the Lord of the Rings. Do I remember the band The Cult? I saw The Cult open up for Metallica on the Damaged Justice tour in Evansville in like '88. Park Rose Permaculture. Why does that sound familiar? Crab Man. Are you putting your? I got to screen grab this. Are you putting your content on? Are you putting your content over here on YouTube, man? You've never seen Lord of the Rings? Yeah, Crabman, I am just not a Lord of the Rings. It's not my jam. Nice. I got to subscribe to your page over here, brother. Yeah, I've never watched Lord of the Rings. I've never watched Harry Potter. I've never watched. Um, is Lord of the Rings the one with the hobbits? I don't know. I've never watched any of that stuff. Oh, sorry, Carrie. Right on. If you guys don't see Crabman here in the comment section, Crabman732, scroll back up. If you guys don't already follow him, you got to. He does some pretty funny content. He does some musical content. Um, he's been cracking me up the last couple of days with his driving through Illinois and driving through Wisconsin videos. But you got to go follow. It's the fucking guy that's got me walking around going trash all everywhere I go. Do y'all do any gardening? Yeah, we have tons. We do a ton of gardening back there. Rose is from Oregon. Heathcliff or Garfield? I don't know. Oh, right on, Crabman, right on. What movie series have you seen, if any? Well, I mean, I've seen a bunch of movie series. Obviously, The Godfather, Star Wars, Star Trek, Back to the Future, Raiders of the Lost Ark. There are a ton of movie series that I've watched. Lord of the Rings is the one with the hobbits and isn't like Harry Potter. Yes, I do love Star Wars and Star Trek. I love both of those. Star Wars more than Star Trek, but definitely love Star Trek, especially the newest the newest series of Star Trek movies that they have done in the past. I don't know how many years it's been. Marvel or DC? DC has better characters. Marvel does better movies. Oh, I don't know, Black. I don't know. I don't read a ton. Not very much at all, actually. I've never seen any of the Home Alone movies. I've never seen any of them. They just look so dumb. Here, just take a moment before you even start typing. Stop fucking typing. Stop fucking typing. Stop. Okay. Let me rattle off some things that I haven't seen and get you thoroughly riled up before you start typing. I have never seen any of the Home Alone movies. I've never seen Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. I've never seen the one where the dude abides. I have never seen. Stop typing. Stop typing. Stop typing. I have never seen Blazing Saddles. I have never seen Shawshank Redemption. I've never watched a single episode of The Sopranos. I've never watched a single episode of Sons of Anarchy. Um, have I pissed you off enough yet? Best and worst heroes. The best superhero ever is Batman. Period. Without question. Every single. Oh, you like this D'Angelico, huh, Crabman? Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful guitar. I couldn't even begin to tell you if it's tuned or not. Probably not. What the fuck, man? I told you. I told you. Oh, Rocky Horror Picture Show is an all-time classic. Who knows, Crabman? Maybe we can do a collaboration at some point in time. Come down to the city, and I'll bring the guitar, and you could tune it and play it. And the people of my channel can finally see this motherfucker played. Maybe we can work on something like that. But you got to give me time, man. I am got a fucking booked ass calendar for a prolonged period of time. Maybe it'd be something like in the fall we can work on. You know what I mean? We can set it up now, but yeah, whew, I would like to see it played. Oh yes, I've seen Faces of Death. That shit was nuts back in the day. I'll even bring the weed, Crabman. You just make sure you have a fresh bag in the trash for me. I have two TVs. One is broken and the other is unplugged. Yeah, we just did. We bought new living room furniture. Well, right before Christmas, and we did away with the TV in the living room. There's no TV in there anymore. There's a TV in our room that my wife does workouts to. There's a TV in my son's room, and our daughter has a TV in the basement. But I don't. We don't sit down and watch TV anymore. Hell yeah, Crab Man, we'll make that shit happen. We'll make that shit happen. We can we can figure out a way to collaborate in Chicago. Maybe even include some other content creators in that as well. Who knows? But we can definitely make that happen. And I can bring this, and we'll get new strings for it, and you can tune her up, and fucking shred away. Best villain. Ooh, yeah, the Joker is hard to beat, isn't he? Especially Heath Ledger's portrayal of the Joker. Uh, I never really did like Lex Luthor as a villain. You know, the other Batman villains were all, in some way, shape, or form cool but odd. Yeah, the Joker. Do you like any horror movies? Huge fan of Halloween. Come to Chicago. I can come with. Yes, absolutely. It's Shanahan with a C. But no, we'll do it in Chicago because that would be great content, man. With Chicago, something in the city as a backdrop. Who the fuck knows? Bring your amp and get it tuned up, and we'll go play in front of the fucking. You'll go play in front of the fucking beam. Just really piss them off. Oh my God, it's Tom in Chicago with a guy playing the guitar in front of the beam. Jesus, I'm getting hives. I don't know how much hate you get for the content you make, Crabman, but it's pretty thick on my end. Have I ever seen Breaking Bad? Not a single episode, not a single second of it. Yeah, Lex. I mean, so when I think of Lex Luthor, I think of the old Gene Hackman Lex Luthor from the Christopher Reeve era of Superman movies, because that's my generation. And I think, really unimpressive villain. I'll tell you a villain that, in from a comic book standpoint, that I really dug was the Green Goblin. I thought that Spider Man had some really interesting villains, but from a movie standpoint, and because I like Batman more than any of them. Yeah, I'm really a huge fan of the Joker. Game of Thrones, never saw a single episode. Kicking back outside at night with nothing but the sound of crickets filling the air. Joint or a bubbler full of weed. Aliens and Predators. I never got into the Aliens series with Sigourney Weaver. I watched a little bit of that first Aliens movie, didn't like it. Predators, I've loved almost all of the movies. And then when they started integrating the two, I forget which movie they first, the one where they found the pyramid under the ice. I believe, is the first time they integrated the two. I was like, wow, that's a hell of a mashup. John Cryer in the CW show does play an amazing Lex. No shit. John Cryer, interesting. Have you seen Prey? I have not. Lex Luthor is our president right now. That's an insult to Lex Luthor. Lex Luthor was at least smart. Jesus fuck. This fucking guy, I don't even think this guy could figure out how to tie his own fucking shoes. Predator was a phenomenal character overall. Just there's a reason why there were so many series. Here's another one that I've never seen. When you guys were talking about movie series, I've never seen a single episode or moment of the Fast and Furious movies. Do I like Taco Bell? Is a frog's ass watertight? Hell yeah, I like Taco Bell. Of fast food options, Taco Bell is and always has been and shall forever be the GOAT. There you go. There's one. We shall work on another. No, I am not John Daly, but good guess. Good guess. Once again, if you guys could please tap the fuck out of the screen. I'm trying to get myself out of an algorithm slump here on YouTube. The views come and go just like anywhere else, and not everybody gets to be on the screen on the For You page or the algorithm at the same time. And you could help me bounce out of that algorithm slump by interacting with all of my content, watching my videos, liking them, sharing them, commenting them on them, and doing the same here. Taco Bell was my favorite, but it's just gotten so damn expensive. It's all fucking crazy anymore. It's still the most affordable, I think, of the fast food options. But yeah, even that's nuts now. You used to be able to get a fucking bag of Taco Bell back in the day. And when I say back in the days, boys and girls, late 80s to late 90s. A fucking bag of Taco Bell for a couple of bucks, a few bucks. Now you get 3 tacos, a burrito, and a drink, and it's 22 bucks. Yes, we're going to work on another one. So this is if you're not familiar, this is a cone. This is how they come. They're empty. You see, they're pre-rolled. Okay, and they got this little paper sort of filter looking thing on the end. Okay, and you put your product in lifts, in segments, and once you get a lift in, you plunge it down. Okay, plunge, and then let's back this up here, and then okay, a little bit more of the sticky icky. I'm doing it from high up in the air, and then plunge, and you keep doing that over and over again, and you'll have one of these. Life is too goddamn short to smoke shitty joints. Your wife rolls cones for you. My wife does descriptions, titles, and thumbnails for YouTube videos for me, and she touches parts of me that I really, really enjoy. Outside of that, I got everything else. I can handle my own rolling, but you got a winner there, man. Hold on. Burrito Supreme or Mexican pizza? Well, I've never liked the Mexican pizza, and I don't get a Supreme anything on a burrito. No sour cream, no guacamole or anything like that. No beans. But yeah, burritos rock. Ever smoked them Dragonfly brand pre-rolls? I can't say that I have, no. Do I think McDonald's is MAGA's go-to now because Donald Trump eats it a lot? I think McDonald's has been the go-to for quite a few people on both sides of the political aisle for some time. And no, I don't necessarily think that because Trump eats a lot of McDonald's, more MAGA are going to McDonald's or anything like that, or vice versa, that Democrats are boycotting McDonald's. I think that people that eat at McDonald's for one of two reasons: they can afford it and they like it, and or they like it. And the people that don't either don't like it or like it but just can't fucking afford it. Have I ever tried meth? No. No. No, that is one that I have not tried, nor do I fucking plan on it. I can recommend H4 CBD pre rolls to take your pain away completely. Interesting. Better off going to a gun range? Trump is the real life annoying orange. McDonald's cheap if you take advantage of the buy one, get one. Yeah, I suppose you could get out of McDonald's for a little bit cheaper if you didn't just get, if if you stuck to the deals, but even still, I mean, it's still gotten so fucking nuts. Well, I like to go to Wrigley. I try to go to Wrigley at least once a summer. Um, I don't know if we're actually going to get to Wrigley this year. We have a lot going on this summer, and if we did get to Wrigley, end of August, maybe in the month of September, that's when it would be. Um, but we're definitely not going to a ball game in May. June, you might be able to squeeze one in. Definitely not going to a ball game in July. At least the first half of August is going to be really fucking rough. You sent me a pocket knife, Olivia. Okay, I've gotten a ton of your stuff, your letters. I've gotten all of that. The pocket knife you sent me. What can you describe the pocket knife? You're going July 1st versus the Padres. You really enjoy my content. Thank you very much. I never watched any of the Wolverine movies. Weed's legal here. Somebody's asking me to come to Canada, saying weed's legal. Weed's legal here in Illinois too. We were in Vancouver in August. We do need to go. Like, I want to visit Toronto. Um, I'd also like to take a long weekend and take Renee and I to go to Niagara Falls and then just kind of cross over into the border for a day or two and take a look around. Taco Bell isn't Mexican food. No shit. No shit. Man, tell us something we don't fucking know. Remember when Biden was pushing to have marijuana reclassified as a scheduled drug? Yes. Weeds legal in every state surrounding my state, but not here, so I'm going to sneak it in still. That's the weird thing about our system of governance here in the United States of America. How you're obeying the law in one state and you're breaking law in the next. It's the night that one. Yeah, yeah. You're the one that sent it to me. Yeah, it's here in my drawer. It's what I use to open everything. Yeah, yeah, I got it. I use it all the time. It's readily available because of that reason. Do I remember Reefer Madness? Forgive me. This is my closet. These are my closet doors here, and you see here I got like little shit along the small section of wall in between the door and the closet doors. My daughter painted these. You see this up here across the top? It's all old school cannabis propaganda posters and movie shit. Devil's Harvest, The Burning Question, Reefer Madness, The Devil's Weed, Marijuana, A Different Burning Question, Marijuana Girl. Yeah, all of those across the top over there. There's the one you were talking about right there, Reefer Madness. Come on, there you go. Got to get magnet on magnet there. You can't afford an orange or a bottle of soda? $3 for a bottle of soda? Where the fuck are you paying $3 for a bottle of soda, man? Yeah, here, let me. The place is a fucking disaster. But yeah, so these. That's a pole that I got to get put back up. Curtain rod, sorry. These were my daughter's closet doors when she was in the room across the hall there. And my other daughter was in this room and she took her closet doors off and just had like shit hanging here, like beads or a curtain or something. And then when the daughter who did these murals moved out of that room and our son moved in, he didn't want these. And I didn't want them to be painted over and I needed closet doors. So I took them and I put them in here so that they could be saved and I would have closet doors. It certainly does add a hell of a pop of color to the room, without question. But yeah, those are her murals. It's God damn it, what is the street artist's name? I forget the name of the artist, but he's a popular urban street artist, and this is one of his pieces. Somebody will know it and they'll say it in it. No, I don't think it was Banksy. Somebody will know it and they'll say it. Okay, so now you're packed all the way to the top and you leave this little section at the top, right? So now you've got your cone all packed. Now you got to close it down. And what I do is I pinch it. A little bit of fucking moisture on the end of your fingertips. And then you just give it the old twistaroo. And there you go. The Ohio State University sucks. There, I finished your sentence for you. You rolled a swan joint? Yeah, I've never been able to do like different shapes and shit. Like, hey, look, this one looks like the space shuttle. I've never been able to do that. Herring, Keith Herring. That's the artist. Keith Herring. Thank you very much. That's the artist. Any hoodles. I need to go get a little something for lunch in me. I appreciate you guys stopping by. If you could, please go interact with all of the content. I'm going to try and go live again to try and boost these views back up. But if you could just go interact with the content, watch the videos in their entirety, like them, comment on them, if possible, share them, and it'll help boost my page back onto the For You page. I truly do appreciate that. I need to go get something to eat. Thank you, guys.